The stage is set under the blazing lights of Daytona International Speedway as the NSRLA Truck Series League kicks off with a 60 lap of pure super speedway chaos. The draft will roar, tempers will flare, and every inch of track will matter as these drivers fight for the glory here at the World Center of Racing. At 2.5 miles long, the 31-degree banking of Daytona is more than just a track. It's an arena where legends are made. Every move in the draft can make or break your race, and one wrong bump could trigger the big one. Teamwork, timing, and nerves of steel are your allies when you're 3 wide at 180 miles an hour here in these trucks. Along with me today, I'm Adam Glatfelter with Alex Goldschmidt with Racer Nexus. Alex, how are we doing tonight?
Good to be alongside you, Adam. Of course, Daytona needs no introduction. You know, what a place to set things off with the Fresh from Florida 150 for the NSRLA. I mean, when you look at the three titans that we have, Toyota, Chevy, and of course the Blue Oval Ford, you know, it's going to be a spicy one tonight here in Florida.
Oh man, no doubt about it. And don't forget, we've got qualifying has started right now, but we're going to have a stage here at lap 30. So looks like the field's going to reset, but fuel is going to be 50% tonight. So these drivers are going to have to pit multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, it's also going to be the thing when you're running over 180 miles an hour in these trucks. It is so crucial. But this qualifying is also not really going to dictate who's going to be at the sharp end and who's going to end the run to victory lane come the end of the 60 laps of this 2.5 mile circuit. I mean, when you think about it, it's been around since 1959, and the amount of people that have raced, you know, you look at the honor roll list, not just in the truck side of things, you look at NASCAR and so much others, because not only does oval racing here, of course, we have the Rolex 24 at Daytona every January, which kicks off the Endurance Series season for every single calendar year. But you know, I'm looking forward to seeing these guys run in packs, run 3 wide, and especially coming through the tri-oval here at the front stretch.
Oh yeah, man, it's going to be a hoot, I guarantee it. And you know, teamwork is where it's at. Teamwork is where it's at here, Alex. As we get on track here, qualifying has commenced. Scott Milliken here, currently sitting top of the spot with a 51.62. Andy Berry, well, now it's going to third with Colin Conderman in second. These lap times here in qualifying, Alex, are really close.
I mean, when you look at it all the way down to the number 15 Chevy Silverado, Vincent Short, who's 0.7 of a second off. But you look at the top 6, they're like 1/10 apart, and it's getting even closer. Knox Thompson in the 48 Chevy goes up into P5 as Scott Milliken has decided to pull his number 2 Ford F-150, but a big wreck there for Knox Thompson in the 48 Chevy.
Oh yeah, he's destroyed, but you know what? He's sitting 5th with the second lap, so looks like a deliberate park it there.
Yeah, but he's just lost that to Vincent Shaw's in the meantime in the 15 Chevy. He's gone in with a 51.652. But times are going to increase in terms of the proximity. I mean, top 17, make that top 18, maybe even near the top 20 with the 63 Tundra of Jerry Solitis has just dropped down to 21st. 0.12 of a second. I mean, that's incredibly crazy. As Donnie Honeycutt in the 22 Tundra goes behind Gino Volanti in the number 35 Tundra, and they are literally so close to pole position, it is not even funny.
I mean, we're talking here, I mean, 51.62. Here's another 51.62 from Tyler Honeycutt. So, I mean, that's literally tied for the pole. You can see on the actual scoring timing, 51.618. And now Whiteman, a 51.618. Man, check these times out. This is ridiculous.
31 drivers covered by just over 0.12 of a second. That is crazy. But at the moment, well, Brock Whiteman has just leveled with Scott Milliken and on pole position in the 41 Silverado. So we really have got a super tight qualifying on our hands. Top 30 covered by 0.11 of a second. You could not write this story, even if you throw the script at Hollywood. They'd probably rip it up and throw it straight back in your face.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. And you could tell these guys are no pushovers here. These guys have come out here. They mean business. If they didn't, the qualifying times wouldn't be nearly as close as they were. You'd have, a few tenths spread out over 20th place is 20 places here. But man, these guys right here, they're here to win. They're not here to run in the back. They're here to work together as a team, be up front at the end, and yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see where it all plays out at the end of this thing.
Yeah, but that was great. That qualifying session. I mean, I'm a real life commentator, and I have never seen a field that has had over 30 drivers that are covered by 0.1 of a second. To me, that's just ludicrous. But it just shows, if you get, as long as the car's, as long as the truck's not loose on the back end, yeah, they say that loose is fast in NASCAR trucks racing and in NASCAR in general. But you've got to, it's a skill set. People just say, oh yeah, you're just going around in circles, turning left. There is an art to this oval racing lark. And, if anyone does remember the late, great Robert Duvall, rest in power, a good sir. Of course, the crew chief to Tom Cruise's Cole Trickle in the legendary film Days of Thunder.
That's right.
It's like saying, yeah, rubbing's racing. We're going to see plenty of that tonight. And also the fact is with the banking here as well, Brad, that we're going to see that drivers might opt not to take the full set of brand new stickered tyres. They might decide, well, okay, are the rights or the lefts, which one are degrading the most under the pressure that they're putting the car under and themselves? Because they might just decide, well, yeah, the left's grading a bit too much and it's getting a bit too high on temp, so they might decide, well, you know what we're going to do? Right, let's stick a fresh set of stickered left sides and maybe keep the other sides for the second bit of the race. But as you said, we're going to have a stage at lap 30, so halfway through. But of course, you did mention it in your intro. There's always that big possibility when you're running line astern at 180 plus miles an hour in these trucks, the big one could be inevitable.
Oh, you hit the nail on the head there, Alex. And as far as the tires go, in my experience here with the trucks, being nose to tail like that for, say, 30 laps, 20 laps or so, the lefts seem to wear a little bit more because it's literally, these trucks are kind of skewed a little bit, so it's literally dragging the left sides just constantly. And, the truck's fine if you don't take tires. If it's green flag pit stops, Alex, I do not believe that they're going to take tires. I think that's not the way to go here. I would get strict, especially with 50% fuel. It looks like it's probably going to be one can here. Probably 10 gallons or so. 11 gallons if I had to guess. It's going to be quick.
Yeah.
These pit stops are going to be really quick. I don't think they are going to have time for tires unless it's under caution.
Yeah, and that depends on how many cautions we do get. I mean, every single driver on the field tonight here on the Fresh from Florida 150 does not get a fast repair. So if you wreck, well, you are going to have to wait out that repair, whether it be 45 seconds, and you end up going down a lap, or you might even end up there for the majority of the race if it's terminal. And we have seen it before in the world of sim racing where a big wreck, it can decimate a field.
Absolutely. And I think that is a good thing going into this NSRLA league here, not having a fast repair, because it deters a lot of I'm going to say dirty racing or more bold moves. Say early in the race, you're like, well, I don't have a fast repair, I'm not going to make that move. And I think that's the reason why most of these leagues take that fast repair away, is to deter that.
I think it means that everyone's got to, use the grey matter up there in that skull of theirs and just sort of be on,
Yeah.
you've got to have eyeballs in the back of your head. You know, you're looking around, you're like thinking, okay, do I go high? Do I go low? What's going to be the easiest method? Can I get a bump from behind from my teammate? How much extra speed? So these drivers are constantly calculating risk versus reward. And it's about the person that puts that ultimate strategy together, you know, what we would call the 3000 IQ strat, whereby you plan it to absolute perfection. But no one in racing ever has a perfect run. They might say, that's the best race I've ever had, but it hasn't been 100% perfect, because there's always peaks and troughs. You know, there'll be times when you're leading the race and then all of a sudden you're 3 wide, the high line goes up onto the banking at 31 degrees angle here at Daytona at turns 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you've got to like think, okay, right, how can I maximize my strategy on this?
Exactly. You know, and you can't run your best race because there's so many different variables going into a race. I mean, you've got 37 drivers here taking the field. That's 36 other variables trying to get you not to win, not to do your best, not to lead the laps, not to have a good push on the inside or the outside. It's all about that.
I completely agree there, Brad. And also one of the things is that, you know, you might not have had the best qualifying, but when we had 30 drivers covered by 1/10 of a second here at Daytona, you know, you can guarantee there's going to be someone in the lower bit of the pack at the bottom end of the field that's going to come charging through, but you might not see it. It might stealthily happen through the first half of the race until we get to the end of stage 1, which is halfway through on lap 30, and then we go through into stage 2, which runs us till the checkered. That person could really have a great strategy and takes their opportunity when others have misfortune.
That's right. And Alex, looks like we're gridding up here. We're actually rolling off pit road, so let's get here with the starting lineup for tonight. Brock Whiteman taking the pole with Scott Milliken in second. Tyler Honeycutt in third. Colin Conderman in fourth. Clifford Ritter's in fifth with Giano Valenti in sixth. Thomas Villa in seventh with Joseph Gunter in eighth. Donnie Honeycutt in ninth. Andy Berry rolling off 10th.
Yeah, and then we've got Vincent Short running off of P11, Trade Deal rounding out row 6, Knox Thompson and John Freeman row 7. Then we head down to row number 8, Brandon Schumann and Brett Bieber. And then we head into row 9, so P17 will be Dustin Bloodworth and KT Machan. And then we've got Andy Kurtz and Matthew Montgomery rounding out your overall top 20.
21st going to Jacob Cochran with Travis Bieber. 22nd, row number 12, Mike Stockhill with Jordan Bridges. Row 13, Dana Ryan with Ryan Bittler rolling off in the outside. Row 14, Keegan Shelton and Dustin Lewis. Row number 15, Brett Wren with Aaron Moore. Row number 16.
Then we come down to the...
Oh, there you go.
I was just going to say, there we go. Alex Pollock and Josh Cox, Jerry Stolitis and Roy Sprague. That's the top 34. Cody Siegel Oliver and Samuel Bridges round out the penultimate row on the grid. And Casey Bristow in the number 11 Toyota Tundra brings up the 37th and final grid position as we're getting set and ready to go to green.
Well said. Looks like we're going to go around one more time, though, as the lights on the pace truck are on. You can see him right there. He should turn them off here. And we're going to get to green flag. Oh, green flag's in the air right now. But the pace truck's still out there, so a little technical difficulties there from the flagman. He's a little bit anticipation.
I think he got his pump action shotgun a bit too early there.
He definitely did. he was waving that sucker.
He was waving it good and plenty. But I think the thing is now is that it may be just to sort of control. It might be an intentional or an unintentional green flag there. But when we see that pace truck go into pit road, well, folks, get your popcorn and your beverage of choice, because this one is definitely going to be a real good way to kick off this season of NSRLA, the Truck Series, here on Racer Nexus. So don't forget to give us a double Apex Gaming. Fire the flag, man. Well, he might fire himself off of the rostrum, off of the flag waving.
I
location
think,
of the triangle.
Yeah, some people call him Barney, and yeah, Barney's not doing. He's doing his job too well. He was just in high anticipation of them starting. So, but these drivers coming down the backstretch now, they need to get these belts tight, settle in. It's going to be Whiteman and Milliken leading the field to the green flag for the first time in this season. It's going to be epic. Going to be legendary. It really is. These guys, great group of guys. They're super fast. I'm just ready to get this thing going.
Yeah, track temperatures looking pretty optimal here under the night. Clear skies above, 70 degrees Fahrenheit track temp, 68 degrees Fahrenheit air temp. So cooler running will help the cars a little bit. It'll also help with regards to the tyre degradation. But pace truck pulls into pit road. Here we go. It's over to Brad for the green.
Here we go. Green flag in the air. Side by side, getting up to speed for the first time tonight. The 47 going ahead and pulling out. And looks like Milliken is not going to be able to stay up there. Dropping back a little bit. Now third on the outside line.
Yeah, we can see there Honeycutt's pulling to the outside of Brock Whiteman, trying to drag alongside the number 41. So the highest place forward is now Scott Milliken, who's swapping places with Clifford Ridders as they go 2x2 Noah's Ark style around this 31-degree angled banking, and you can just see the amount of commitment. But we've got about the top 7, I would say, top 7 rows really starting to pull away, and there's a little bit of a gap between Brett and Travis Beaver in the 32 and the 23 Chevys. But it is going to be Tyler Honeycutt who leads the way. Milliken's back up to P2, but that high side is starting to pull along with the low side here on the track as we head through into turns 1 and 2 at high speed. We're running at 180 miles an hour. So Tyler Honeycutt is dropping behind Clifford Ridders, and as again that low side really getting the opportunity here. But I think there might be Gino Villanti in the number 35 Tundra trying to look and stick his nose to the outside to possibly make it 3 wide in the middle of the top 10.
Yeah, looks like he pulls back down just 2 wide here. That 35 of Villanti. So, I mean, he's fourth in line on the outside. He's got nowhere to go, really. And it's too early to push these guys 3 wide. Remember, we don't have fast repairs. So, you know, let's not get over our heads this early. But that inside line is actually moving now. I mean, it took a little while for them to get going, but, you know, Brock Whiteman leading the way now as the outside line's pretty much breaking up at this point. And to get back in line, Vincent Short, where is he? Looks like he's on the inside line here.
Yeah, well, he's Tyler Honeycutt's just got past on him, but it's that high line. You know, when the track starts really rubbering in, when the tyres really start to help the track to evolve, that's where the key decision will have to be made. You know, especially when you get into the bottom of the ninth and the latter stages of the race. But Dustin Lewis, the number 33 Silverado's just put in the fastest lap of the race, 48.977. Everyone else running a low to mid 49-second lap time here, Brad. So the thing is, they're just starting to get into that rhythm, and I think probably by lap 5 we'll really get a better understanding of how things will evolve over the course of the first half of this 60-lapper here at Daytona International Speedway.
Yeah, you know, I'm not seeing a lot of side drafts, Alex, whatsoever from these drivers. They're keeping their distance on the turns, which is good. You know, we're only 4 laps in on this thing, so I'm just curious. I should have asked the drivers in the driver meeting. I should have dropped down in there to kind of see what their fuel window was kind of looking like. We got a caution here.
We've had a problem. Travis Bieber, Andy Kurtz, they've both gone off track, and well, there we see
quite a few though.
A little bit of the. Yeah. Well, at least it doesn't look like there's much. I think it's just mainly that people just went big time off track, and first caution of the night. We're going to see it here from the helicam shot as they go through into the acceleration zone, and there it. Oh, well, at least it was a small one by NASCAR truck standards, but yeah. Not exactly what Trey Deal in the 61 Ford F-150 wanted, as he ends up pointing towards the inside of pit road, and a couple of drivers having to avoid their bot.
It looks like
but nevertheless,
Deal. Yeah, it looks like Deal had the blunt of the damage. Looks like he's really the only one that hit the wall. But not I wouldn't say a whole lot of damage on him. I mean, he looks pretty good.
Yeah, I think the thing is that even with the slightest amount of damage, as long as the main aerodynamics with the front splitter and the rear end of the car, well, Ryan Bittler and Travis Bieber have come into the pits, so they're taking advantage of this first full course caution that we got here at Daytona for the Fresh from Florida 150. So whether I'm probably thinking that if they go over 25 seconds, that is going to be that. Yeah, we're looking at Bittler and Bieber. They have both got damage. They are in pit road. They're repairing them, so the pace truck is back out with the lights on. But at least in some respects, Bieber and Bittler, if they are getting the repairs done now, okay, they might be at the back end of the field. However, as long as they don't go too many laps down, because if we have another caution coming out, they might be able to profit, and then depending on how big the wreck is that's in front of them.
I mean, I agree with that 100%. I do agree with that. I think they need to get this damage fixed, get that full tank of fuel, and we've got. Looks like the fuel window is going to be between 15 and 17 laps, so they were nowhere close to that.
Yeah, thanks to that's probably Brandon Schumann.
Yep.
Yeah. In the number 52 Tundra, as Brock Whiteman comes down, and look, they're all taking advantage of this caution. So maybe just to top up the gas tank, get it to that full 50%, because the more fuel, folks, and this is basically physics 101. The more fuel you've got in the vehicle, the lower the center of gravity will be, which means these cars will be able to hunker down that little bit closer.
That's right.
As Brock Whiteman, 6.35 on his marks, and was very close to the end of pit road. So nice, easy trundle out of pit road. So yeah, like the livery on that car that truck as well. I'm getting confused now. I mean, it's from where I am, folks, in the morning. It's nearly 1:30, but still, you know what? When our good friend and the leader of the gang here at Racer Nexus, Rob Campbell, gives us a shout, well, I'm normally the one that normally answers first, and I've got 2 back-to-back broadcasts as well, so I'm a glutton for punishment, folks, even if it is on US time. But when a commentator has an opportunity to cover something, you jump at the chance.
Absolutely, man. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Growing a community. Whether it's iRacing, broadcasting, or any other game, or things you're passionate about and others are passionate about. You always try to be there if they need you.
Quite interesting that the Argentine that we got up front, the number 36 Ford F-150, Thomas Martinez Villa, hasn't pitted. Neither has the 35 Tundra of Gino Volanti, and Roy Sprague, who started all the way down in 34th, is now up to the 3rd spot in the 31 Blue Oval. So I think this is it's going to be interesting on the restart, depending on how many more laps we're going to run under caution. And Jordan Bridges saying, let's go 42, 24 and 5. So let's have a look down the list. 42, John Freeman. 24, Matthew Montgomery. Number 5, Andy Kurtz in the Chevy. And then he goes, dang, Matt Montgomery is handsome.
Yeah.
Is that your livery he's talking about, Jordan?
And there's the 24 right there. Yeah, these guys right here, they're all teammates. I think I've raced with these guys or broadcasted a race that Montgomery and Bridges were in. Super fast guys, though. I mean, this field better look out because they are definitely fast. Still got the caution, though, as the lights are off on the pace car. But hey, look, you know, the top 3 hadn't pitted. Well, Roy Sprague just went in to grab some fuel. Looks like, because he's no longer up there. It's showing him.
And it's pissed.
Yep, showing him way back there, coming out.
24th. Yeah.
And
nearly 19 seconds on his pit stall.
And you know, the way iRacing here is scored is, you know, if you didn't pit the first time with the rest of the guys, then pit road is actually closed for you the second time around if you didn't pit the first time. So he's going to be getting an EOL for that. But, I mean, he pitted anyway, so. He was back there saving fuel. I was watching him a little bit. He was just riding in the draft. So I think Villa and who's the other guy? Volante. I don't think they have anything to worry about. There may or may not be a caution. If there's not a caution, well, they're a sitting duck. They've only got 2 of them versus the field now, if they stay green.
But then in some respects, even with the fact they've got less fuel, they'll have a top speed advantage, and that will give them that little bit, you know, like say be a hundred, a couple of, you know, like say maybe half a tenth of a second advantage. Plus also you've got to consider the top speeds that we're running at. Some of the guys were running at 190 miles an hour. But here we go, back to green, over to you, Brad.
Coming to the restart zone right now. Green flag back in the air. And here we go, inside line. Gets a good restart here. Outside, not really as good. But now they're all bunched up on the outside, so they should be really good to go on momentum coming off of turn 2. As the inside line, not really defined. You can see that gap that the 36 has over the 41 of Whiteman now. Whiteman trying to get up to the back bumper.
Yeah, Volante's, look at this. Volante's now making work on the high side. And he's going to be very, very close. I think he's got behind him. Who's that? That's probably going to be more than likely. Not too sure if is that Tyler Honeycutt. I can't make out the number on the side of the car, the side of the truck.
Yes, that's the 99. Yes.
Yeah. So you're going to have Schumann there in the 52, and look, there's a couple of drivers that are looking at a little. He's taken the race lead and gone down to the low side. And behind him, he's got Martinez Villa, the Argentine. But now we're seeing the high line really come into its own here. And this is where possibly Honeycutt, yet to the high side, onto the back stretch, out of turn 2. Honeycutt ahead by a nose. And now that high side really starting to work. And there's the number 3 of Clifford Ritters.
The 3 comes down.
Valenti exit stage left.
The 3 came down, wasn't clear, and came across the nose of Volante. Oof. Volante not going to be happy about that.
No, but hopefully it hasn't. It doesn't mean that we're going to go to caution. It didn't. Now let's see. No, it doesn't look like that. He might have just about saved it. So the code brown of hitting the fence has been relatively well avoided by the 35 Tundra. But yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, Clifford Ritters just came down and just checked up on Volante, and Volante had no other alternative but to put it a little bit more left-hand down on the steering wheel. But here we go. We've got the, I think the top 10, but here's the replay from the Helicam.
Take a look here. They got a nice run on the outside. Looking up top from the 52. Coming down, the 3 goes with him, and boom, gets him. Definitely not clear.
Well, I think Volante, at the meantime, is now Brandon Schumann's hit the front of the field. The 52 started in the 15th position. Now Knox Thompson in the 48, who started P13, is in front by a truck length, and now gets through, goes to the low side to try and maximise his advantage at the front end of the field. Jacob Cochran's on the move, the number 17 Ford F-150, up 17 spots from 21st, now runs in 4th position, ahead of Tyler Honeycutt. And our pole sitter Brock Whiteman in the 41 Silverado is all the way down in the 11th position. But this is now really starting to get a little bit more brazen from our drivers that are very, very tightly packed. The top 16 covered by just over 0.8 of a second. And it's Alex Pollock in the 92 Silverado who's moved up from 31st to 16th. So now we're really seeing Condiment goes to the high side and takes the lead. Cochrane's probably right on him on the rear bump. But as they're bump drafting all the way down the backstretch into turn 3.
It looks like that outside line's way more defined now. They've got really good momentum. There's not a lot of help there. Oh, as the 4 gets turned, it's up on his top. Right at the front of the field.
Oh,
the 4 of Colin Condiment.
Oh, that's scary. Now that's brought out our second caution of the night on lap 13.
Man, oh man. Yeah, we're going to have to go back and look at that real quick. Let's see if we can get it here. Yeah, from the chopper cam. Let's take a look here. The 17 to the back of the 4. Little off skelter here. Oh, yeah, I see what happened there. He went down. The 17 had momentum just a little bit. 4 came back up, come across his nose.
I think, 17, Jacob Cochrane is now dropped down to the 11th spot. I mean, he was trying to make a hole there, but, you know, there's finite margins. We were talking about that, you know, where you've got to have your eyes on your head on a swivel and your eyes in the back of your head. And unfortunately for Jacob Cochrane, with that overspeed, he just caught himself out. And Colin Condiment now finds himself on his pit stall down pit road, and that was a real shame. I mean, he was on his lid, he was on his roof, and then ends up landing on all 4 wheels on terra firma. But
luckily landed on his wheels.
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, someone who I know, Luke Crane, who's a big NASCAR fan. He was one of his favourite things is seeing either cars or trucks on their roofs, and he would have absolutely lost it seeing that. But I think, you know, when you think about it, yeah, this is going to smart for Colin Condiment because he was running so well, and that high side has really started to come in. I did say about that earlier on before we went green for the first time, that the way that the track evolves, and because the temperatures are consistent as they are at the moment, it's helping the engines breathe a little bit better. It's also helping with regards to fuel usage, and also tyres. As now, look at this, everyone that is now, look, top 16, we're going to see the top 20 is they're coming into the pits. They're going to take advantage, top up those gas tanks, and get themselves to that maximum limit of 50% fuel. And there we see the number 18 on his pit mark, on his pit stall. So this is now the mad dash to get your truck out as quick as possible, and it's going to be a drag race. 52, Brandon Schumann is going to be behind
the 48 of Thompson.
Yeah, 48. Knox Thompson started P13. So, and a very good quick amount of pit stops. A little bit slow for Thomas Martinez Villa. Just over 7.1 seconds. Brett Bieber 4 seconds on his mark. So obviously didn't have that much gas in the tank to top up there.
Yeah, looks like Thomas Martinez Villa, I mean, he was a little slower going all the way down pit road. So, I mean, looks like he was just taking his time getting down there. I mean, it looks like a 37 seconds total pit time. Everybody else 33, low 34. So, I'm not surprised to see him a little further back than he has been.
I mean, sometimes, you know, with these with the pit lane speed limits, you know, they are so draconian here on iRacing that the minute you go 0.1 of a mile an hour over,
yeah. He's just being safe. You know, it's time over distance.
Three-quarters of it. Yeah. Exactly. And it's a case of, you know, just making sure that you're covering all bases. You're not, you want to leave no stone unturned. And in some respects, I can see the idea behind that from Martinez Villa, because when you're at the sharp end of the field, what you don't want to always be is be the person up front. You want to be in that top 5, top 10, because you're going to be right in the thick of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, you can decide to go to the high side or the low side of the track. I mean, especially if you run 3 wide, are you going to make that hole in the middle?
Yeah, you get to decide that. Whereas you're running up front, like he just was, he had nowhere to go. He was stuck. He could go to the top or the bottom, but he was in the front. And the only way to do that is to drop back, 3 wide, let him go by you, settle back in around 10th or so. Well, actually, in this case, it would have been like 15th or 16th because everybody was nose to tail. But I think that was a good decision, and I think you nailed that theory there behind exactly what he was doing. He was playing it safe, trying to give himself some options because looks like most of the wrecks have happened up front tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's also very much a tactic that's used in karting. Like, if you're in the final race of the weekend and you're going for the championship, what you want to do is you want to be in that top 4, top 5. So you, as you rightly said, you have got options. You make the decision. You decide your own destiny on how that race is going to permeate. You know, yeah, you can prepare to the hill. But the big thing is, folks, you've got to have a little bit of lady luck on your side, of course.
That's right. You definitely do. If you don't have that, you're sitting duck. But here we go. Looks like the pace truck lights are off, so we're going to go green this time with the 48 and the 52 of Thompson and Schumann in the front row.
Keep your eyes on the number 14 F-150, Brett Rinn. Started 29th, now running P4. Alex Pollock, who's now the fastest driver of the race so far, fastest lap of a 48.956. So we are seeing some drivers dive underneath the 48-second bracket, but one of which is Brett Bieber, and he's all the way down in 20th position in the 32 Silverado. But yeah, it's time to get those hammers down, boys.
That's right. Let's pull these belts one more time. We're getting close here. We're a little over halfway into the stage, and a quarter of the way through this race here as they're going to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Looks like a little bit of spinning of the tires on the outside for the 52 of Schumann. That's going to put Thompson up front, but he's got a nasty push here coming from Brett Rinn. You called it. Don't sleep on him. He's pushing the 52 right out to the front. I don't see the 52 leaving him, though. We're going to see here.
Yeah, as they come down the backstretch out of turn 2. And look, now the moving game starts. Look, they're all jockeying for position. And look at the back of Brett Rinn. There's Tyler Honeycutt, who started P3 on the inside of row number 2, but it is Brandon Schumann versus Brett Rinn, who's up 27 places from the beginning of this race when we started things off nearly 17 laps ago. Out of the 60 we're going to be running here for the Fresh from Florida 150. And look, the gaps are next to nothing, but keep your eyes on the truck on the outside. That is going to be very, very close. That's the, I think that is going to be, well, you've got Brandon Schumann. Brett Rinn, he has a little bit of checking up on that particular occasion, and that's going to be Scott Milliken, who put it on the outside of the front row on P2. Now here they come down the backstretch again at big speeds. We're seeing speeds of nearly 190 miles an hour, but look, it's going to be the fact of it's Milliken versus Schumann. They are wheel to wheel here, coming through out of turn 3 and into 4, now into the tri-oval to complete lap number 18. And seeing it from this perspective, Gino Volanti's now up to P12. Alex Pollock now into P2 in the 92 Silverado. Look at this, they're nearly fanning out to 3 wide. This is going to be very, very close. You're seeing that Brett Rinn's looking to make a move, trying to make a hold there. So is John Freeman in the red and white Chevy Silverado number 42. And he's running in 5th. And it's all changing all the time. And this is allowing people like Gino Volanti, Joseph Gunter, Andy Berry, Brett Bieber, Dustin Lewis, Roy Sprague, you know, who are rounding out the top 17. But now we're seeing that Alex Pollock, who's running in the Jeff Gordon tribute livery there in the 92, he's trying to go around the outside of Scott Milliken. And look, the 92 Silverado on the high side gets to the front of the field. And once again, this is how truck racing should be, folks. Close pack, close quarter, and at high speed. And I just saw through the speed trap, Alex Pollock, 190.6 miles an hour. Dustin Lewis, who's up to 13, now does a 48.92. Fastest lap of the race so far. This is really, really heating up. So, folks, don't touch that dial.
And I mean, you could tell, Alex, I mean, these guys, a different person's led the last 5 laps here. I mean, now the 92's getting pushed by the 42. You know, he kind of dropped back and let Milliken take the lead here. And now the 42's pushing him by himself. He's got no help out the back with the 24 of Montgomery as of now. But if Montgomery gets up there, I think these two are going to be able to break away. But you can see the 92 here is
3 wide.
Yeah, 3 wide. Yeah, he's getting pushed in the middle. Shuffled out.
Yeah, keep your eyes on Matthew Montgomery. Now it's a Chevy 1-2. Montgomery running in the Colt Special. It looks like yellow spot on the hood of that truck.
That's right.
And now they are catching up to back market traffic, and this is really, really going to test these drivers' patience. The truck keeps out of the way. That's a good cool down. That's a trade deal. It's pulled to the lower side of the apron, but it is now John Freeman in the 42. And there's Matthew Montgomery in the 24. Brandon Schumann keeping with them in the 52 Tundra. Scott Milliken in the number 2 Ford F-150. Still there in 4th. Brett Rinn, Donnie Honeycutt. It's all changing all the time. Knox Thompson, Tyler Honeycutt, Brett Bieber, and the Argentinian number 36 in the Ford F-150. Thomas Martinez Villa. They are covered by half a second. And the positions are changing all the time. So this is where it's crucial. You've got to really, really pick your moment as to when to facilitate the side draft and make that move that could cost you the difference between being in victory lane or ending up being at the bottom end of the rostrum.
Absolutely. And, I mean, you can see nose to tail here, the 42, 24. These guys are teammates here. Now, they're missing their other teammate, the 5, which is Kurtz. He's back there in the back. But it's going to be really hard to pass Freeman and Montgomery. They're really going to have to get defined on that outside line. They're going to have to get nose to tail at least 2 or 3 trucks to be able to get up to the side draft of the 24 and to be able to do anything.
I mean, the thing is that the speed is so minimal in terms of top speed through the trap. You know, the leaders are 189.2, 0.1, 0.1, 0.7, and Brett Rinn nearly 191 miles an hour. So these guys are really, really cooking right now. It's like the barbecue's been put up to high flame and everything's been rapidly put into the smoker, and hopefully you'll have your food on your table in about 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But more to the point, it is just so close. I mean, you look at the hardest charges of the night so far, and it is still Brett Rinn, who's now up to P5, and he's up 24 spots from 29th. 24 spots. We've seen drivers like, say, Alex Pollock, who was up 13 spots from 31st and was leading the race. We're now, this is 7 to go until the end of the first stage, the first half of this race. And look at this. There is a big gap. There's 2.8 seconds between Gino Delancey in 15th and Roy Sprague in 16th, who's made up 18 spots so far. But Montgomery in the number 24 is again closing in on John Freeman, his teammates. So they are, in a way, working together. And you can just see Brandon Schumann right there with them. Scott Milliken still keeping to that high side, and he's hoping to catch a side draft here. So there is a little bit of strategy. He's being followed by the number 14 fellow F-150 driver, Brett Rinn, and then, well, Brandon Schumann is the top Toyota at the moment in the Tundra in the number 52, as Brett Rinn now gets through. He goes to the low side on Scott Milliken and then takes the position, but then it's swapped back again because Milliken's to the high side. But look at this, Montgomery bump drafting, pushing Freeman along, and they're trying to break the toe from the trucks behind, and it's not quite working because everyone is really on their A game tonight.
Yeah, looks like they're, you know, a lot of people's left Milliken on that high side. You could tell that as Milliken's dropping way back now into 7th on the high side. Doesn't really have any help, and I don't know. I don't think he had the speed that some of the others did, and they saw that, so they went down, let him drop back, and now there's a new leader on the high side, the number 14 of Brett Rinn. Hey, you said don't sleep on this guy, and look. He's trying to do something. He's been the only one that's been able to come up there and do something with the 24.
Yeah. Oh, now, who is that they're coming to pass? Vincent
The
Short,
17.
I believe, in the 15, 17. So, yeah, Jacob Cochran who was in the sharp end of things early doors before we had our second caution of the night. But it's Montgomery that is leading the way. Milliken bump drafting him. Rins in third. Thompson, Schumann, Bieber, Lewis, Freeman, Pollock and Honeycutt. That's your top 10 covered by just under half a second, but they are running so close. And Scott Milliken, being in the draft of Matthew Montgomery, is gaining 2 miles an hour in terms of just literally bump drafting behind him, because Montgomery is pushing that hole in that dirty air, and Milliken is absolutely benefiting from this. But, you know, anyone in this top 15 leading pack has a capability of winning this race. And now we go on to lap 27, so 4 to go until we hit the end of the halftime stage here at Daytona International Speedway for the Fresh from Florida 150. Thanks for everyone that's been involved in the chat. We've got 40 people watching live on our YouTube channel, so don't forget to give us a like, share and subscribe. And also a big thank you to our friends at TrackCams 22, TrackCams for connoisseurs, who give us some really great, wonderful angles here. But look at this, down to the low side. Knox Thompson is really pedaling along very well. Montgomery's losing a little bit of overall top speed. There goes Knox Thompson to the front. Milliken right in his wheel tracks. He's got Brett Rinn right over his rear wing. But then you see again, there's so much going on. Montgomery to the high side will retake the race lead. This is going to be so close. They're running 2 by 2 Noah's Ark style, and they have been absolutely on point. Not a mistake made by certain drivers. It's just how the luck of the side draft and the toe really helps you out there. Going to come across another driver coming up just in front, so the back marker's going to have to get out of the way very quickly, because the leaders are approaching at high speed at over 185 miles an hour. Montgomery goes to the low side as we are about to complete lap 28. We've only got a couple of laps to go here, Brad, until we hit the halftime stage.
Yeah, we've got, like you said, just a couple of laps here. They're coming up on lap traffic now. It's going to slow that outside line maybe just a little bit. I don't think I'd want to be in Montgomery's position here. That outside line getting defined there with these two tangled up. Some side drafting being done here between the 32 and the 48. You can see the 32 dipping down just a little bit just to get that dirty air, get that air off the spoiler of the 48. They're letting out of the throttle for some reason. Now everybody's scattered. 3 wide here. 3 wide battle going on. The 48 to the very bottom. No help for now. And looks like Lewis is going to try to get something here with the 42.
Yeah, Dustin Lewis, who's still got the fastest lap of the race. He's to the outside of Knox Thompson, and it is going to be 1 lap to go until the halftime stage. Look at this, Lewis pushing Montgomery along as they go down the. We're going to make it to the tri-oval. 1 lap until the halftime stage. So lap 29, very much nearly 50% of the way through, and Montgomery to the high side. Knox Thompson. Oh, he has a little bit of a wobble there on the back end, and straight away out of that, someone decided to exit stage left and say, I do not want to wreck right now. But Montgomery is leading. However, look at his teammate, John Freeman.
Yep,
he's coming alongside to assist the number 24. Yep, so it's going to be the run to the line, and it's going to be out of turn 4. We now head into the tri-oval, and we are getting onto the tail end here as we hit lap 30.
Oh, crossing a finish line here. I don't know who got it. Looks like, I believe it's Dustin Lewis, yes. Dustin Lewis.
He got it by about.
With the sneak attack.
He got it by about. Yeah, that was definitely sneaky. Oh, that was definitely the length of the hood on the truck that made all the difference. But
thank you to the 92 of Alex Pollock, who come out of nowhere to push him up there to get that stage win.
But folks, we're still halfway through this race.
Whew, man, I figured we'd be done by now. This thing right here, I mean, it's been exciting for 30 laps. I look up and it says 31 of 60. I'm like, really?
Yeah, you sort of like kind of had to pinch yourself a little bit and go, really? I thought this was the end of the race, you know. But
they're racing like
I think yeah, exactly. They're but I have to commend the drivers, you know, in the top 15 all the way down to, I think it was Tyler Honeycutt in the number 99. Gino Volanti really profited. He actually made it up to P10 by the end of the stage. As now,
That's crazy, yeah.
drivers are going to start. Well, Andy Kurtz has been in pit road for over a minute and a half. Roy Sprague has come out after 15 seconds. So, not too sure what's going on with Andy Kurtz, the number 5, but he could lose out. Yeah, he's coming for his third pit stop of the night in the number 5. But I think it's just like the way it was, just how those drivers were keeping their composure. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're in a sim rig or you're actually in a real life NASCAR truck. You are sweating. You are mentally, you are physically exerted to the point where everything just wants to like just break down and give up. You know, like when you get the you know, the engine management light on your dashboard in your car, and the car just wants to splutter and come to a halt because something's not working right. That's how your body's feeling. And at this point, this now gives these drivers an opportunity just to breathe, get a little bit of hydration down their necks, and just go, okay, right, now it's time to focus on the more important part of the race, which is that second half.
Absolutely. And you know, and you referred to the service engine light. To get nervous. Alex, if my service engine light goes off, then I get nervous.
Because then you know that then you don't know what's coming next.
Yeah, you're like, uh-oh, the lights went out. What's going on? I need to call a tow truck. But you know, I agree with you 100%. Whether you're in a race car, or you're in the sim rig, when it's pulling down to the end of the stage, last lap, it doesn't matter, or you're leading this thing, your heart is pounding. You're sweating. You can't turn the AC on cold enough.
Yeah, and it's not just the cooling for the drivers; it's also the cooling for their PCs as well. And look at this; it's a little bit of a slight drag race out of pit road. So Lewis and Montgomery rejoin in the positions that they finished in after the halfway stage. So I think it's just that's the thing. And for us up here in the broadcast booth, you know, like literally as those guys were getting quicker and quicker and they're running at 185, 190 miles an hour, like I'm getting the goosebumps on my arms and the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end, because you just like you're anticipating for something to happen, but it didn't. And what was really cool was the fact that these drivers, they race a lot together. You know, every sim racing league, folks, is a community, and they all have a lot of banter. There's a lot of joking and ripping someone a new one when they've made a bit of a faux pas, if you will. You know, like if someone becomes the laughing joke, then it resonates through the community. But everyone has a good time, and it's always light-hearted. But when it comes down to, you know, you got to put that hammer down and keep on trucking, you've got to really be, you're like thinking, okay, the main person I'm concentrating on is me. Forget everybody else. The friendship goes out of the window. And then when everyone has a look over the replay, they'll go, oh yeah, you remember that? They'll go, yeah. And then you'll have some like statement from one of the drivers, and they'll just go, yeah, that was not pleasant. Something definitely puckered up when I got launched off of the circuit. And it can happen. I mean, that's probably going to be the case of, you know, Colin Condiment, who has, you know, after that wreck, he has not been on the circuit, so he's effectively done. You know, Keegan Shelton is another one that's out. Colin Condiment, I think, could have been in contention for the victory here at the.
Oh yeah, he was running up front. He was fast, very fast. You know, but you got a lot of guys out. I mean, 20th on back here. They've had issues. They're down pit road. They're down a lap or more. So, I mean, there's 19 drivers in this thing with 30 laps. So, almost half of these drivers did not make it to the stage end.
And sometimes that can be a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. But when you think about it, okay, Trey Deal, let's use him as an example. Okay, he's had 4 pit stops so far in the 61 Ford F-150. He is a lap down off of Dustin Lewis. Yep. But who's not to say that through this second half of this 60 lapper here at Daytona, the World Centre of Racing, who's to say that he manages through some miracle, you know, because everyone hopes for that miracle. They go, oh, you know, it's sort of like thinking, come on, just please show me a sign. And then if something happens in front, well, then they're thinking, okay, now I've got an opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's still in it. He may be 20th right now, but he's still in it. I mean, he's sitting 20th right now. He's had 4 pit stops, just like you said. He was just in, got some more damage repaired. He's been in the, he's been in the deal. Trey Deal has. So,
they've been dealing a lot out to him. You know, the puns are coming out now, folks.
That's right.
Me.
Yeah, no pun intended.
No pun intended. But here we go. Pace truck into pit road. It's time to get the second half of the Fresh from Florida 150 as we get set and ready to go. Green flag in the air. We're back underway, and Dustin Lewis puts the hammer down.
Yeah, he looks like Dustin Lewis way out front. That's not going to end well, as the 24 and who is that? The 48 tied up together, tight. The Dustin Lewis still out front, but that outside line is going to have one heck of a momentum drive coming out of it. You can see right there, 32 leading the way on the outside.
Yeah, Brett Bieber started 16th on the outside of row 8.
Now pulling down to the bottom.
Montgomery is there. Yeah, Montgomery is there. He is taking no chances. He's like saying, I want to run up front because I want as much clear air as possible, or I want to get a little bit of an assist. But when you think about who's behind him, Dustin Lewis, you know, it's not going to be easy. But look to the high side. Here comes Knox Thompson. And then you've got Alex Pollock in the 92 Jeff Gordon livery to the outside. They get through, but they haven't decided to go to the low side yet. Now here goes Knox Thompson. Oh, that was close.
Barely clear, yeah, barely clear. But you know the 92, he knows how to push here.
Yeah.
Outside lane, a little bit unorganized here for now. Hard side draft coming from the 42 to the 48. Now they're neck and neck here going into turn 3. 52 pushing the mess out of the 42. 21's back there as well of Barry. First time I've seen Andy Barry up there. Looks like he's going to be the magician tonight, showing up precisely when he means to.
Yeah, look, that high side working again so well. John Freeman now the new leader. Brandon Schumann right behind him. Now, Schumann goes down to the low side. Freeman stays up top. That's a bit of an interesting strategy by John Freeman, but he's going to lose out the race lead to Brandon Schumann. So Schumann had the run on Freeman quite easily, but coming out of turn 2 onto the back stretch, Freeman's now able to, you know, extend that throttle pedal a little bit and try and get the speed, and then he's back in front, but it's not much. It's by the front hood as they come through into turn 3, and now that high side working again. And here comes the number 21, the Ford F-150 of Andy Berry, up from 10th, the outside of row 5 at the start of this race. And now, here we go. Freeman's got the run on Schumann as we go into the tri-oval. And there, John Freeman decides to go to the low side. And a bit of checking up. And there's Brandon Schumann. Exit stage left. It was a check-up between him and Andy Berry at that point.
Schumann way down now in the back here. In 15th, you can see him there. Things got a little argy-pargy there, as Rob Campbell always said. That's his favorite word to say when things go sideways, argy-pargy. And yeah, now the field's all messed up. They're trying to get reorganized here. Jumping on the inside.
I think in some respects both Brandon Schumann and Andy Berry dodged the proverbial bullet from the gun, because they're both still running. There was not a wreck. It was just it was a checkup. I think maybe Berry got a little bit loose, then clattered into the right side of Schumann, and Schumann went exit stage left onto the runoff area, through the grass and onto the tarmac. But now we're seeing, as we're heading towards the halfway point of lap 39, so 21 to go after this. And Knox Thompson now the leader. Here comes Brett Rinn. I did say don't sleep on him. And he's to the outside down the back stretch. And Brett Rinn's got the lead. He's ahead by a front bumper at the moment. And to the high side and right behind him, it looks like Dustin Lewis has brought himself back into play. There's Scott
He'll get out
Milliken
of line.
in the yeah. Oh, Brett Rin's getting a bit too close for comfort to the right-hand sides of Knox Thompson and John Freeman. But again, here we see Brett Rin using that high side to his advantage. Through the tri-oval they go. Lap 39 in the books, 21 to go.
Oh,
And Dustin Lewis getting
Lewis
so
in the wall.
close. Oh. At least he only scraped the at least he only scraped the paint off the truck.
Oh, we got a caution here too.
Oh,
looks like Trey Deal
and Travis Bieber. The Blackjack pack has not been kind to that man there, I'm afraid.
No, he keeps busts. He keeps losing to the dealer tonight, and the dealer is Daytona. He's not going to hit Blackjack tonight. No 21s for you.
No, it's like he got given a 10 and a 6 and then got a 9 and then was busted.
That'll get you. All right, let's take a look here at Vila. Oh, gets turned there. Almost goes up. Almost goes up on his side. Oh, and it gets cleaned out.
That's what happened afterwards. Oh, Trey Deal unsighted, bang, straight into the front of Villa.
Trey Deal really nowhere to go. As Villa was just coming down the track. I mean, he may have been holding his brakes, but, you know, like you said early on in the show, 31 degrees of banking. It's kind of hard to do so, especially when you're still going, 80 miles an hour. But, Trey Deal caught up in a bad deal.
Yep.
Oh, and he's missing his right front. Missing his right front fender too, Alex.
Yeah, that truck's going to definitely need some TLC after this race, and I think his pride as well at the same time. But that's just racing, folks, and I think he's lucky. He kind of got. I'm wondering if there's potentially any steering or suspension damage on the right front where the fender's missing. So that is going to be a big aerodynamic drag. So that is going to lose Trey Deal a lot of speed. He gets a tap from behind there under the caution.
And we're on board with him here, and you can see his wheels turn to the right, and he's going to the left. He's definitely got some wheel damage there, and that could potentially, Alex, take him out of this race. You can see where the wheels turned at about a 45-degree angle. Yeah,
that toe-in definitely needs some straightening. But I think in some respects, this is the opening round of the Truck Series. So for NSRLA, they've got a very, very extensive calendar from what I saw on the Discord server. And again, here we go. It's taking advantage of that caution. And the top 24 are in pit road. And it's going to be a case of
42 missing his box.
Oh dear, John Freeman, that was not exactly what you wanted to do there.
Definitely not, especially under caution here. He's going to be starting back a little bit further than what he would like. He did not like that mid-pack. He kept trying to stay up front.
Oh, he's lost a lot of time.
Yep, looks like Brett
22 seconds.
Wren's going to...
22 seconds on his...
Woo, 22 seconds? Yeah. Brett Wren looks like he's going to win the...
That's going to equate to... Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. We both like talking.
I was gonna. Yeah, no. That's fair enough. I think it's more the case of with John Freeman. That's cost him big time. That's probably a 45 to 50 second trip down pit road, including the 22 seconds that he was. He went past the line, had to reverse. That's going to cost you a good 10 seconds easy. That's as long as you hit your marks perfectly as well. But Brett Wren, 29th, inside of row number 15. Is leading the way. We have got a truck in front that is probably going to be a lap down. I think that's the 40.
Yeah, the
Brock
41.
Whiteman
Yep,
in the 41.
Brock Wright, the pole winner.
Our pole sitter.
Well, that's unfortunate. Will he get? He stayed out though. Will he get that wave around? That's the question here. Where is he currently sitting now?
25th.
Yep, there he is, 25th. way on back there. I don't know. He's quite a few laps down here.
Yeah. But there's always that unpredictability factor. You know,
No,
no
you're
matter
exactly
what racing
right.
category it is.
17 laps to go here, so anything can happen. And they're close on being able to make it here, Alex. They're close. You know, Brandon Schumann said 15 to 17 laps, and that should be full blast. So, will they kind of cut the pace down a little bit to try to make it, or
I think it's
they hoping for a caution?
maybe there might be this. Yeah, I think you might be right. If there's one more caution, then everyone will make it. But I think it's going to be whoever's at the front of the field, and if those drivers stay there for too long, then they're going to be hypermiling. They're going to be coasting as much as they can.
They're not going to be able to make it. And if you let the leader dictate the pace, then yeah, the leader will be able to make it. But if you let these guys say 5-10 laps, they're behind you, they're 50% throttle, they're saving. If you think for 1 second when they see that they can make it to the end, if you don't think they're going to try to force you into picking that pace back up to force you into a mistake, then you're mistaken. Because as soon as they can make it, they're going for it.
Right, question from James the Werewolf. Are Machan and Bloodworth still in it? Yes, they are. Bloodworth running P4, Machan rounding out the top 5. So both having made up 30, well, it was 13 spots respectively until Katie Machan up to, well, yeah, it is 4th and 5th.
4th and 5th, yeah.
Respectively. Andy Kurtz up 13 spots. Yep. Hardest charger, Brett Rinn, 28 spots from 29th, and is going to be the man that will. As I said, I've already mentioned it once, and I'm wondering if anyone got the Smokey in the Bandit reference. You know, got to put that hammer down and keep on trucking.
That's right.
If anyone might remember that particular side of things. But here we go. Brad, time to go back to green, buddy.
Eastbound or down, going to the restart zone. Load them up and truck them. The 14 getting a nice start out. Got a nice lead here. Outside line, not too organized here. You can see the Dustin Lewis dropping down. Now it's going to be single filed out. And exactly right. They're going to be able to save some fuel here. 51 in line. Only 3 guys on the outside line. Everybody else single filed out. Let's go about 50 to 60% throttle here. Save some fuel for about five laps or so. You should be able to make it to the end. 17 laps to go.
Yeah, I think Brett Rinn and Scott Milliken caught the field napping there, to be honest with you, Brad, because it just goes to show that if you can get the throttle down early and you go to green through the acceleration zone. But look at this. Andy Kurtz and Knox Thompson in the team Chevy Silverados. They're pushing. We're seeing that Thompson is pushing Kurtz along, and this is helping them. Look at the speed that they're gathering as they come down the backstretch heading into turn 3. So they're starting to make that high line work again, but it is Brett Rinn from Scott Milliken, Dustin Lewis, and now look at this, Kurtz and Thompson that are working together. Thompson pushing Kurtz along. This is going to help them get up into 3rd and 4th. And, well, Dustin Lewis has been a bit of a sitting duck in that. Brent Bieber is also there. He's through on Lewis. Ryan Bittler now up 19 spots from 26, runs P7 and the number 9 Ford. But look, Brett Rinn trying to go up to cover off Andy Kurtz.
Not going to happen.
That they were having too much overspeed. And look, it's never going to happen on a month of Sundays. As we go through into the tri-oval once again. And Kurtz now, new race leader. Thompson and Bieber. Oh, it's a top 3 Chevy leading the way. Top 3 at the front of the pack. Brett Rinn now makes it into. He spoils the party after about 5 seconds and brings the Blue Oval back into the top 3. Highest placed Tundra at the moment is the 51 of Dustin Bloodworth, and he's dropped down to P8. But still, nevertheless, a good effort from Dustin at the moment. Up 9 spots. He's got the 95 of KT Machan in the. Oh goodness me! Look at the profile picture there as well. Looney Tunes all over again.
Marvin the Martian.
But I do have to say, there we go, Marvin the Martian, the arch nemesis of Daffy the Duck, back in the day. But I do like KT's livery. Very much contributes to the Star Spangled Banner. Stars and Stripes in the 95, but they're running good at the moment. We are seeing speeds from, like, say, Brett Bieber, Brian Bittler. They're a little bit slower through the speed trap. 185.6 miles an hour for Bieber. Bittler 186.7. So there is a little bit of lifting and coasting going on down the back stretch, but at least on the back stretch there's only 2 degrees of angle, a banking angle, and then into 31 degrees. But Andy Kurtz needs sponsor, and then he's got a dollar sign on each side.
He does.
The wording, absolutely brilliant. There's a I mean, I commentate on so many different leagues, including the Radical Race Series, where they have the SR8s and the SR10s battling away, and one of the teams is called Insert E-Racing name here. You know,
That's
on the side poles, which is absolutely brilliant. There's so much. This is what I love about sim racing, is the creativeness that people have, and it can be something as, you know, like, as we would say in the auto industry, caution is out again.
Oh man, hey, and they were,
Clifford,
you know, they had slowed the pace down, Alex, to about 51.1. They had slowed the pace down 2 seconds for 3 laps here. And
looks like it's the number 3 Clifford Ridders. Yeah. Clifford Ridders in the number 3 Chevy. I think he's.
Yep.
Well, let's see.
Yep, he's
Rock
sideways
Whiteman
here to go up the track. Brock's got nowhere to go.
Oh, don't tell me. No, well, Martinez Villa is out. Trey Deal is out after lap 40.
Oof.
Oh, and there goes our pole winner.
Yep. Tough break for Whiteman there. Hopefully he did get a point for leading. I'm not sure what their point status is just yet in this league, whether they get points for leading a lap, getting a pole, race win, stuff like that. So hopefully, if they did give points, he got a point for, you know, getting the pole. So
yeah, I mean, that's the thing about racing. You know, you can get luck on your side, or, you know, you have to deal with the ups and downs like a pendulum swing. It's never easy, but still, Andy Kurtz is leading, and it is Chevrolet from Chevrolet. Then we've got 2 Fords in the form of Brett Rinn and Scott Milliken. Donnie Honeycutt in the number 22 Tundra is running 5th, ahead of Brett Bieber. John Freeman, Ron Biller in the number 9 Ford, Dustin Bloodworth to the number 51 Tundra, and KT Machan in the number 95 patriotic Ford F-150, which just screams America to me. Rounds out your overall top 10. I think the good thing is that with the racing that we've had, it seems that at the front, yeah, the pack can get a little bit too close and maybe tug on a few BPMs, you know, put the heart rate through the roof, so to speak.
That's right.
But they are running so close.
And you know what? It's going to be even closer here. These drivers, you're seeing them right now, pulling down to the commitment cone, down pit road. They're going to grab that last little bit of fuel. They will not have to pit anymore. They can for sure make it all the way. So if you thought the first 30 laps were chaotic, you hadn't seen anything yet. These drivers now have enough fuel. They're going for it.
Yeah, and you know, we'll have less than 10 laps to go. So, you know, that's going to be about, probably, depending on whether we have 9 or 8 laps to go, that's going to be anywhere between 20 and 25 miles left of competitive action here for the Fresh from Florida 150. And yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's been one of those things where you just have to. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think, Adam, it's just one of those things where you just have to go. This is why these drivers are at the top of their game. They know how to play it. They've been in so many different situations, and as you mentioned earlier on, Adam, and apologies, I've been calling you Brad for a lot of the broadcasts.
It's fine. You can call me what you want.
No, the funny thing is, folks, when you're talking time difference, and I'm 5 hours behind, I'm 5 hours ahead. Your brain, I mean, even my grey matter is, I think this is a long word for this time in the morning and also for this time in the evening, because, as I said, I've got a broadcast for another league you know, the word is discombobulated, where basically your grey matter doesn't know which way it's going to go. You know, whether the left side or the right side of your brain is going to be working in the right way. But apologies for that, Adam.
No problem, man. No problem. Hey, I wasn't gonna say a word on air.
Yeah, no. But at least no, it's just because I thought, right, Alex, just make sure you're saying the names right. And then I looked and I went, oh, the man I've been working with, I've been calling him Brad most of the broadcast, because I've got a good friend of mine, Brad Dalton, who's also based in the US, and yeah, it's just like you and him sound very, very similar in terms of your voice and the tone and the accent. So it kind of put me into like autopilot mode.
Oh,
bit like Knight Rider
redneck.
with
redneck. That's the term you're looking for. Redneck.
No, I don't like people that judges by accents or anything. I mean,
Yeah.
The thing is, for those wondering, my surname is actually German. So German Jewish. My grandfather emigrated to the United Kingdom before the Second World War even started. My great aunt was when they had the travesty called Kristallnacht, where all the banned books and paintings and LP records back in the day were all burnt in Berlin. She was halfway on her way to Poland, so don't worry. I'm most of me is British, but there is a European side to me as well, because I speak the lingo. I've got dual nationality, thanks to my grandfather, God rest his soul. You know, and for me to do him proud, it's sort of knowing the language that my dad never learned, and also having the opportunity to travel over to Europe, which I'm going to be doing a hell of a lot this year. But I'm waiting for someone to give me a call from the US saying, right, okay, we know about you, can you come over? And I'll be like, book me on the next plane, boyo.
That's right. Hey, your time's coming, man. You're a fantastic broadcaster here. So, yeah, your time's definitely coming. But looks like we're side by side here. Lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to go green. Hopefully, Alex, we finish under green. I really like that.
Yeah. So that's going to be 9 laps, 22.5 miles left to go for the Fresh from Florida 150. So big thank you to everyone that has been watching along all the way here on Racer Nexus. It's a real privilege for us to get the opportunity. And I think in the words of Mr. Waltrip, it's boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. It's green flag.
That's right. 32 of Beaver pulling out strong here. And pulling out by itself. You know, we've seen this. The outside line gets pretty good momentum. We're going to see if Knox Thompson can't go ahead and take that top spot. Plenty of fuel left. I guarantee you that outside line, you're going to see him popping here. Probably 3 wide too, Alex. I guarantee you we're going to see some 3 wide action.
Yeah, it's probably going to come down to the death. You know, we always know that with NASCAR trucks, NASCAR Xfinity, there is always that opportunity that there's going to be a drag race. If anyone might remember the Freedom 100 at the Brickyard, where we had 4-5 wide coming down to the last corner, last lap. But look at this, Bieber is getting a good run. Kurt's behind him, and Brett Rinn is starting to make his moves. Look, he's pushing along Knox Thompson to the high side. So 8 laps to go, 20 miles of competitive racing here at Daytona.
Coming up on lap traffic
to the outside. It's not really good. Yeah, it's not going to really compromise the high side, because look now, Thompson to the race lead, and look, Brett Rinn is pushing him along. Bieber and Kurtz don't have an answer at the meantime. It's always dependent on that window of when Knox Thompson decides to go down to that low side. Is that going to release Brett Rinn? Because at the moment, Brett Rinn is a hell of a lot quicker. Look, we're riding on board with a number 14, and he is going to go low. He's gone low. He's going to slingshot past and gets through on Thompson. Brett Rinn back to the race lead.
Taking the lead. How about that? Hey, that was a good power move there, Alex. Fantastic power move. Been able to clear and get underneath him.
Well, the thing was, Knox Thompson through the trap was nearly 10 miles an hour slower.
Yeah.
So Brett Rinn had really engaged that slingshot maneuver, and it was just timed perfectly. And look, he's starting to look at his truck length lead over Brandon Schumann, and now there we go, 3 wide.
Back there, 5th on back.
Rows. Make that 3rd on back now as well, 4th on back. Here we go.
Here comes Brandon Schumann to the outside line here on the back stretch into turn 3. Oh, bit of a moment there.
Oh, the 14,
Brett
nowhere
had
to go.
Get out of there, and a bit of door banging between. Yeah, oh, big wreck. Here we go, and that is going to bring out another caution. And that is. Oh, who is that?
Knox Thompson
Knox
riding the wall
Thompson.
sideways here.
Oh, giddy up there, if I do say so myself, in the words of Joey Hand. My goodness.
Extensive damage to somebody's drivers. Extensive damage. Look, he's still, Knox Thompson got the toe right out of it. He has definitely stubbed his toe on both sides.
Yeah, Ryan Bittler's just bit the bullet, pardon the pun. He's in pit road, and the number 9 Ford is out of contention for this race. He was running pretty good there as well. And there we go. He's having to reverse onto his marks. He completely missed his pit stall, and I think that's
he's
there
out
we go.
of it.
He's towed it. Yeah, that's a real shame for the number 9 Ford.
Yep, Montgomery was involved, or he went off track here to try to avoid that. Let's take a look here. We'll get up above Montgomery. He's in the middle of this thing. See exactly what happened.
Oh dear.
A lot of checkup. 14 had nowhere to go. He comes back up the track. That's what causes this whole thing. Kind of stacks him up on the outside, and away we go.
Oh, he was. Yeah. Oh, left side takes a big old hit, and so does the 92 Alex Pollock.
Man, tough break for Alex Pollock.
92.
Well, there's still time to finish this thing under green.
Yep. It's yeah, but I think the biggest threat for Schumann and Honeycutt is going to be Rinn, 100% guaranteed. He has been
a powerhouse
to have a Rinn. Oh, he has. You know, that Ford has been pedaling so good in the hands of Brett Rinn. Alex Pollock has now dived into pit road, obviously to repair the damage to the side of the 92 Chevy Silverado, but. Yeah, this is now the opportunity that I think this is for Brett Rinn, Brett Bieber, Tyler Honeycutt, John Freeman, Andy Kurtz, Travis Bieber. They have all got a shot. Even Scott Milliken, who qualified on the outside of the, and even Dustin Lewis. Okay.
Yeah, that's your top 10 right there.
Who else?
They can easily get up there.
Exactly. But so could Andy Berry, Gino Villanti, Katie Machan, and Dustin Bloodworth, who are rounding out the top 14, who are still out on circuit because they took advantage of that caution, the earlier caution, not the one that we just had, but the one previous. But I think, I think if someone was to say to me, who do you think is going to win? I think it's going to be a photo finish, but I think the 14 could be the one that makes the break for it and gets it just by a nose across the line. That's my prediction. Whether it's going to be like that, I don't know, but I'm excited to find out because we could have a 2 or a 3 lap sprint, which will be between 5 and 7.5 miles of competitive racing here in what has been an absolutely dynamic display of NASCAR truck racing here for this evening's entertainment.
You know, I think we're going to have to go with, we're sleeping on this guy right here, but I think I'm going to have to go with him for the win, which is Brett Bieber. You see him right there. I think he's going to start on the outside second row. You know, he's in a pretty good spot here. I mean, he's going to be pushing the outside leader. You know, he's going to dictate what the outside does. So if he can get them both clear, he might be able to, you know, do something with Honeycutt.
He might be able to do something, but I think in some respects, Adam, it's now the drivers have to think of themselves. This is crunch point. This is where you've got to, you're either going to bet it all on red or black, and hope that your number comes on the casino table. Because the thing is, yeah, teammates can help you, but when you're both at the sharp end, well, it's about who wants it the most. Who's going to go that extra percent or two to make it work for them? Because when it goes to white flag, folks, the gloves will be off. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
It's like that every time I get in the truck or the car. You know, when it's go time, I think of myself. Now I don't go out and put myself in harm's way or any other drivers. At least I try not to. But yeah, you definitely got to think of yourself.
100%, and still the fastest lap of the race is down to the number 33 Chevy Silverado of Dustin Lewis, 48.921. But we've been running, as you said, we were running 50s, 51s. So I think after we had that caution where it came to like 17 laps to go, we did see a decrease in the pace of the trucks. So it was more the case of who could maximise that fuel mileage and just hope on a wing and a prayer to have that, to have that caution. But we are coming down to the end of what will be lap 57 of this race for the Fresh from Florida 150. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to hear from some of the people that are watching along, because we are going to have a grandstand finale here at the World Centre of Racing.
Oh yeah, pace truck's going to be going off. I hope this thing finished under green. I'm just curious to see who's going to take this win away. Here we go to the restart zone. Green flag in the air. It's going to be Schumann. Honeycutt with a nice start here. Got the 32 of Bieber right behind him, pushing him hard. But here comes that bottom lane once again. The 22 of Honeycutt. Donnie Honeycutt trying to make it happen. They're nose to tail, side by side, coming out of turn 2 down the backstretch. 3 laps to go here. Finally getting up to speed, 180 miles per hour. Honeycutt being pushed by that really lightning fast 14 of Brett Wren. And check this out, the 32, Brett Bieber now on the bottom. The 35 gets turned.
Oh, no. Scott Milliken and Gino Villanti.
Gino Villanti still.
Villanti's holding to the barriers, and that is
now in the 37. We're not holding the brakes. Still wrecking. And now we're stopped. Look up top here from Gino Villanti. Gets turned by the
Andy
5.
Kurtz.
Yep.
I think it was, yeah.
Comes back on track right in front of Montgomery. Then comes back down the track and collects the 37. A lot of I don't even have the words for it, Alex. Unnecessary contact there. Let's put it that way. Unnecessary
let's
contact.
just say that more than just a standard set of dominoes were falling at that point.
Yes, sir.
It's probably the way I would put it.
Oh man, that's a good analogy. I'm gonna have to use that.
Hey, feel free. The thing is about us Brits is that we know how to, eloquently put ways not to offend anybody, but I think it's more just to add a humorous tinge onto the broadcast. I mean, that's the thing. But yeah, I think if Gino Villanti was on the craps table, well, he crapped out after that one. Not just one, not just 2, but 3 separate incidents. But I mean, I feel sorry for Matthew Montgomery, because he was completely unsighted, had nowhere to go, and he was at full speed. And then Villanti just pinballs down, bang, straight away, impact. And Montgomery was another one that was racing so fast at the front end of the field. But yeah, I mean, the thing is that, are we going to have... Yeah, I mean, we're going to have some intensive green-white checkers here as well, because we're now coming to the end of lap 60, so there's going to be an opportunity that if we get a one-lap, like white flag opportunity to go black and white checker, then that will conclude the race. But it'll just mean that the drivers have to be very, very careful. And Brett Wren, he's got a big mountain to climb, because he's now 8th. Dustin Lewis, now the hardest charger in the field, up 24 spots from the outside of row number 14, runs P4. So Brett Rinn is the leading Ford, and the only other one in is behind Andy Kurtz, so that's KT Machan in the 95 Murica Ford F-150, as I'm going to nickname it now. But I think it's about picking your moments, and there's going to be, Knox Thompson is coming to pit road, Alex Pollock, Gino Valenti. I think Valenti is still running. Dustin Bloodworth is dropping. So it is now about, with the waiver rounds and everything, it's going to take a little bit of time to settle. And Jordan Bridges goes, that 35 done lost his brake pedal. Yep. 100% on the, hit the nail on the head there with regards to Gino Valenti. But I think it's now Brett Rinn has got the speed, but has he got the guts to just go for broke? Because Schumann, Freeman, Travis Bieber, Dustin Lewis, Brett Beaver, Donny and Tyler Honeycutt are in front of him. So he's got to really make use of every single sinew within his body, and also the mental faculty to be at this point where everyone is running just on pure adrenaline and just wanting to say, right, we want a black and white checkered, we want to have a proper photo finish. And that's how I feel this race is going to pan out. But it's just dependent on, how much does Brett Rinn really want this victory here at Daytona? That's the big thing.
Well, we're about to see here, because, like I said, he's going to be starting on the. It's going to be starting on the outside. I mean, he's in a good spot. He's in a really good spot to make something happen. He's got some fast guys in front of him. He's got some fast guys behind him. I think I'm going to call it like a 3-wide push here. I mean, you got Matthew Montgomery behind him. You got Andy Berry, who's hungry. Scott Milliken back there. They can, KT McCant. They can get on that high side, run that wall, and possibly make something happen here. But they're going to have to do it as soon as they start cross the start-finish line. They're going to have to, get that 3-wide going, get that momentum built up, because you only get 2 laps here. And if they cross that white flag, it's official.
That's going to be the crucial point here. And I think, like you say, look at Brandon Schumann. He's right on the rear bumper. He's bump drafting the pace truck. He's ready. He's fired up. And John Freeman, teammate to Matthew Montgomery. I mean, even if Montgomery gets into a very, very tight position behind the top 10, there's even an outside chance for him. But you can never count anybody out. If you're in this top 10, top 15 right now, and you're on the lead lap and you're within a couple of seconds of the leaders, you've got a shot at this. You clearly have. But it's just dependent on how those final 2 laps. So when we go to green, then we get the white flag lap. Then it's a case of game on, everyone for themselves.
I mean, yeah. Ultimately, yeah, it's... I don't see any... I mean, you got the 52 and the 42. These guys are teammates. Don't count them out. And they're both starting on the front row. Are they going to help each other? They're going to battle it out. They're going to try to control those lines. Make sure the third lane doesn't get started. I mean, ultimately, that's their goal. Make sure there are no runs from behind and let these 2 teammates battle it out at the end of this thing.
Yeah. And I'm lost for words at the moment, because I'm really looking forward to how this restart is going to pan out here, Adam. Because if we do go white flag lap, and we do, if we get to a certain point around the lap, as we've always seen in NASCAR and NASCAR trucks, once they get past a certain part of the lap and we get a yellow flag, and we don't get that caution, then, and it's a localized yellow, then we're good to race right up until the checkered. But here we go, pace truck in pit road. Over to you for the restart for possibly the final time here, Adam.
Yes, sir. Coming across the start-finish line. Oh, the 42 did not get going. 52 way out front with Dustin Lewis. You can see Dustin Lewis pushing the mess out of him. Here going in. Oh, and he clears him. They both go to the bottom. What is the strategy here with the 42? I am not sure what's going on with the 42, why he did what he did, but now Donnie Honeycutt on the outside, getting pushed by Brett Wren. That's somebody you definitely want pushing you here. Now the 52 coming back. Side drafting with the 14. Very organized here. Oh, and looks like we got the 95 turned sideways into Matthew Montgomery. Caution comes out one more time.
Well,
Whew.
This is nail-biting stuff, folks. Nail-biting. And Brett Wren is, I think he's exactly where he wants to be. He wants to be in that front row. I think if he gets a really, really good restart, I think he can do a number over on Honeycutt and pull away from him. I mean, we've seen it that on the restarts, it's traditionally the low side that gets the jump, but if Brett Wren could just nail that restart perfectly and keep Honeycutt guessing, and then keep it to the high side, and if they go onto the backstretch side by side, then you would factor that Brett Wren is going to carry so much more speed. But you see here that Honeycutt is going to the outside, and also they're still able to not really have to worry about putting fuel in the trucks, and that's going to be quite crucial, because as these trucks are circulating, they are burning off those litres, they're burning off those gallons of fuel in the gas tank, and that for them is going to be crucial. It gives you that little bit additional top speed, plus also the truck might feel a little bit looser because of that lack of fuel, but it might give a little bit of confidence. Some drivers find it really, really comforting to have a looser, faster truck coming out of the corners, and then when they can get the power down like full throttle, then you'll see those things take off like a rocket ship. I mean, we saw that earlier on when I said that Brett Wren, who did that really great slingshot on Brandon Schumann, he was 10 miles an hour faster, and you could see the speed differential. It was like Schumann was standing still.
Yeah, definitely was. I mean, yeah, he passed him with every bit of 10 miles an hour more than what Schumann had. But, hey, let me ask you something here. So, Brett Wren's going to be starting on the outside. Schumann's going to be starting in third behind Donnie Honeycutt. Now, Tyler Honeycutt is going to be starting behind Brett Wren. Are those two related? Are they teammates? Does Tyler Honeycutt dictate the win for Donnie? Or is, getting inside their head, is it every man for themselves? A lot of people would be, but if you're teammates and you can dictate what the outside line does and give that momentum and energy to the inside lane just long enough, it might matter.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the surname, exactly the same spelling. Depending on where they're located in the States, that's another key point. And I would say probably just trying to peek out at the liveries. Well, Donnie's got a very, very bright livery, and Tyler, Tyler based out of Roseville, North Carolina, not too far from Charlotte Motor Speedway, which also has its fair share of NASCAR and NASCAR tracks.
And Donnie's located out of Wendell, North Carolina.
So same state, maybe.
Well, we're going to see here
but
if the theory is correct.
Yeah, we are going to see here. I'm wondering if it's a father and son pairing. You never know.
Could be.
But maybe we might find that out in the post-race interview show. You never know. But
if we got two Honeycutts up there, I promise you I'm going to ask the question, were y'all helping each other? Hey, it's always possible.
Yeah. I mean, I've commentated on leagues where the Radical Series I was talking about, we've got two brothers from Germany.
Yeah.
And they run their own team, and they're both rapidly quick and radical, SR8. But yeah, I think you could be right that Tyler could, in a way, yeah, and teammate, says Ryan J in the chat on YouTube. I think they are teammates. So Tyler Honeycutt could dictate how this race pans out, but Brett Rinn has got every obstacle in front of him in that mountain he's got to climb. We are going to have a bit of a cliffhanger here because, once we go green, it's going to be 2 laps once again. So this will be our second attempt. And yeah, there we go. Father and son.
How about that?
Well, there we go.
Hey, but look at
there
this.
There we go. Thank you to Renee Lewis.
Look at this, Alex. The 22 opted to take the top side. So now the 22, the 99, nose to tail on the high side. So you best believe those two are going to hook up early. The 22 dictates the start so you can get a good start. They're going to count it down together. I mean, why wouldn't you? And they're going to try to leapfrog that 14. But, hey, behind that 14, you've got one incredible pusher, which is Brandon Schumann. This guy's been lightning fast all night long up here at the front.
I think I could see an indirect working together between Brett Rinn and Brandon Schumann for sure.
Absolutely.
Because they both helped each other along all the way through this race. So, it might be the father and son teammate duo that might try and go for, the 1-2 finish. But here we go. Pace truck into pit road. Here we go again.
Green flag out in the air. Looks like the 22 getting a nice jump here. 99 can't quite close up to him, but the inside line falling apart here. They're not going with Brett Rinn like I thought they were. They're going to leave him out to dry here on the inside line. He's forcing his way up into the 99. And Chaos is out here at Daytona one more time. We're losing more and more trucks here, Alex. The 14. We got to go back. We have to go back and look at that.
Yeah,
Brett
I think
Rinn.
from what I saw with regards to Brett, maybe that Tyler was trying to. So we've got the restart here, and you can see that Donny's leading the way. There's Tyler bump drafting behind Donny, and look, this is
just a side draft gone
the
wrong.
Margins were so close. Yeah, side draft goes wrong, and I think in some respects people might say, well, yeah, that was all on Brett Rinn, but that's so difficult to tell because the side draft didn't quite work out as planned. So the bump drafting between father and son didn't quite happen as it should have done, and I think Brett Rinn just got caught out. We're going to have a look on board with him. So there's Donny front right. So we're going to go down the backstretch into turn 3. There's Topper.
Hard to tell.
It is. I mean, it's it's so difficult to call. I really, I think the thing is, it's close racing. We're trying to get to the end of it, and it just doesn't seem that Lady Luck is shining on us here at the moment. To be honest with you, Adam, but it's just unfortunate. These look like the side draft can cause that instability to the car to the high side.
That's right.
The truck to the high
it
side.
It absolutely can.
And so, I think maybe that Tyler might have gotten a little bit of a wobble, so the car the truck got a bit loose on the back axle, and it's difficult to call because you're between a bit of a rock and a hard place if your name is Brett Rinn, and Brett is now down to 4th behind John Freeman. So Brandon Schumann now takes the 2nd spot. Travis Bieber up to P5. Dustin Lewis 6th ahead of Andy Berry. Andy Kurtz. Scott Milliken and Brett Bieber round out the top 10. Brett Rinn. Okay, so I think they are going to... Yeah, look, you're seeing them coming to pit road. Now, John Freeman went to go down pit road, and it was a bit like Lewis Hamilton being told by Bono when he was at Mercedes-Benz, no, stay out.
Yep.
And that's John Freeman. I don't know if he might cop a pit lane infraction for that. Because he was like literally...
Was he under the cone?
I couldn't really tell, to be honest with you. I'm going to have a look back on the footage. Thank goodness we're broadcasting this on YouTube, but I'll take a quick look. No, he went to the right side of the cone, so he's
Okay. He should be
yeah,
clear and probably get an off
yeah,
track here, but he'll be clear of any
yeah.
penalties as far as iRacing goes. So it should be good.
Right. So I'm wondering if this might be. I'm thinking whether this might be Brett Rinn, Brizzle2438 in YouTube. Tried to side draft a little too much and turned him totally my fault. I apologise. I'm not too sure if that is Brett Rinn, but he's now down in 12th. But the thing is, he's still. I mean, he was in pit road for over 40 seconds. So
Yeah, getting some damage fixed. Coming back in 2 laps, coming from 12th to the top, with this type of field, I just don't see it possible.
I mean, the longer that we're under caution, the closer the Brett is able to get
That's
to
true.
the back end
Yeah, that's true.
of the top 10, top 11. So, yes, it is. Okay, thank you very much for confirming that, Brett. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the delta between him and Gino Villanti in the 35, who has also been through the ringer. Of course, we saw that where he had three... where we had 3 separate incidents where he gets turned into the wall, Matthew Montgomery, and then we have a third incident with Brock Whiteman on that same, like, literally when we were talking about holding brakes. But yeah, I mean, now Brett has gone in and come out again, so he's repaired the damage, and he's now also put fuel in. He's put gas in the gas tank. So I think some of the drivers opting to stay out. As I said, it comes down to physics. It comes down to, with how realistic the iRacing service is. The tracks are laser scanned. There's so much that iRacing do behind the scenes to get these race cars as close as possible to real life. That's what, and there you see Brett Rinn. There he is at the back of the train. Lucky number 13 for some, maybe.
Yeah, for now, but he's still look at all that open area he's got on the high side. If he gets a really good jump here, he could, I mean, you're right, he could move up there to the top 5 here. Lickety split, pardon my French, but I mean, what about these drivers up here in the top 7? They last pitted on lap 49, gone through, this is the 4th green white checkered here. 4th green white checkered attempt. Are we running low on fuel here? How many more can they do before they have to pit?
That is the big $64,000 question that really needs to be answered, and we haven't had a definitive one because we've had 3 respective cautions. So a back-to-back, like literally on the first of the last 2 designated race laps. So we're over 90 minutes into this. Pace truck into pit road. We are about to start lap number 71, and here we go. Green flag in the air.
Yep, 52 gets a nice jump. 22 gets a nice jump as well. They're side by side here. Door to door going out of the tri-oval into turn 1. No help out back from the 20 for the 22. Nose to tail the 42 and the 52. These guys are teammates. So I think they're gonna have plenty of momentum coming out of 2. They're gonna clear whatever they need to do and guard the outside and inside line. Any energy that comes, I think they're gonna go up there and block it. Donnie Honeycutt and dropping back. Brandon Schumann to the front.
Yeah, I mean it's a case now. I mean Brett Rinn is about more than a quarter of a lap down, but it just he's 17.6 seconds off of Knox Thompson, who rounds out the top 14. It's going to be 3 wide across the line. Andy Berry to the outside in the 21. Got a real good toe there. Donnie Honeycutt's gone with him. So is the 23 of Travis Bieber, who started 22nd. Yeah, that's the situation that Bieber's got to be very careful. He's bump drafting 2 trucks in front as we're going to go down the backstretch once again. And this is where this is probably going to be crunch time here. Look at Brandon Schumann. He's all over the back of Travis Beaver. Donny Honeycutt trying to go to the outside of Andy Berry to the high side through into turn 3. Schumann to the low side. He's going to make it nearly 3 wide. He cuts the apron slightly. It is 3 wide for the race lead through out of turn number 4. Schumann back up front. And here's Honeycutt. He's to the high side. It's 3 wide for third place just behind. And look at this. Is this white flag? Yes, it is.
Honeycutt. Donny Honeycutt's going to win tonight's NSRLA Fresh from Florida 150. How about that? Whew, barely got that one. Oh yeah, love me a photo finish.
That's always a good thing. But, I mean, it was just, you know, Brandon Schumann opened the door. Donny Honeycutt just kept the throttle to the floor, through into the tri-oval, and he just really, I did say it was about picking your moments, and he won it by half a truck length, pretty much. And Travis Bieber was only 2 100ths behind Brandon Schumann at the flag after 72 laps of what should have been a 60-lap race, but multiple. So on the fourth attempt of a black and white checkered, we finally got there. But still, you know, that's the unpredictability of truck racing, Adam. But what a way to finish. Donny Honeycutt goes to victory lane here at Daytona.
Well, I guarantee you Donny Honeycutt's got enough fuel here to do some burnout. So, yeah, whip that puppy around on the front stretch and burn it down for the fans.
Well, he's got to rip up that grass a little bit there.
That's right. Everybody rips that grass up here at Daytona. It doesn't matter if you're running the 24-hour or a Daytona 500, you're ripping it up.
Oh my goodness, what a great way to finish this race. You know, photo finish, multiple cautions, multiple drivers, you know, in contention. I mean, my prediction went out the window, but you know what, Brett Rinn still to jump into YouTube chat and, you know, mention about it. And you know, I think that's one good thing about communities, that there's always an etiquette, there's always a courtesy that you have to sort of say to your fellow racers, like saying, look, if it's an incident, just put your hand up, just be direct and say, look, my bad, I'm sorry, my fault. And you know, he owned up to it, but you know, he was running really, really well on that front.
And you know, that's what it's about. You know, taking accountability is everything here, especially when you're in a league of your peers, guys that, you know, are as fast as you, or you may be a little faster than them, and say, hey, I'm sorry, I got into you. Accountability goes a really long way, and it just gains more and more respect. You know, the more you do it. Hopefully you only do it once, but you know, it is what it is. Looks like that's going to be it for the burnouts.
Well, hang on a second.
Of Donny Honeycutt.
Yes.
So let's get to the race results here. There we go. Donny Honeycutt bringing it home in the #1 spot with Brandon Schumann in second. Travis Bieber in third. John Freeman did a fantastic job bringing it home at fourth with Andy Berry in fifth. Scott Milliken in sixth with Roy Sprague seventh. Brett Bieber in eighth with Tyler Honeycutt ninth, and Andy Kurtz in 10th place.
And interestingly enough, Roy Sprague, hardest charger, 27 spots from the outside of row number 17, takes a top 7 finish.
That's pretty impressive.
In the 37 Ford F1. That's, you know, we were seeing drivers like Brett Rinn, who, if he'd won the race, he would have been up 28 spots. But, you know, Roy Sprague, he had some dramas earlier on in the race, but he managed to keep his nose clean and all fenders kept on the truck on the F-150 to get it across the line. So well done to him. I mean, Dustin Lewis, fastest lap of the race, 48.921. Yeah, a bit of a shame for a lot of our contenders, but as they say, that's racing.
That's right. And take a look here at the most laps sled. Only the most laps led was 12, Alex. 12 laps was the most laps led by one single driver. That just shows you how many lead changes there actually was. 17 different leaders. And it's unbelievable. 17. Well, 19 under green flag runs. 19 different leaders.
Yeah. And 9 cautions, totaling 27 laps out of the 72 that we ended up running at. But still, I mean, you know, the top 3 covered by 63 thousandths, and it looks like we've got our top 3 waiting to have a chat with us in the post-race interview show, which includes our Fresh from Florida 150 winner, Donnie Honeycutt.
You want to start with third place here, Travis Bieber.
Yeah.
Let's get him in
Let's
here.
Let's go for it.
If we can get him in here. There we go. Travis, Alex, and Adam in the booth. You got us?
Yep. Hey, guys.
Man, how's it going?
Well,
good
Travis.
run.
Yeah. It was a long race. I think I lost a lap and got in a crash on like lap 5 and 55 laps to get back and get up to the front. But you know, it was you know, it's pretty cool to end up on the podium after all that. So can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, especially being 63 thousandths behind Donnie after 72 laps. I mean, it does go to show that there's so much unpredictability in NASCAR truck racing, Travis, because you can say, yeah, I had a wreck on lap 5, and you've come back through. You made up 19 spots from the outside of row 11, so a pretty good way to start things off here at Daytona, really.
Yeah, for sure. It was a really good run. I had a lot of momentum there behind Donnie on the last lap, but you know, when we're 3 wide there and there's nowhere else to go, you know, I was like, you know, I pushed Donnie, you know, kind of up here to the lead, so I just gave him an extra shove and tried to get him across first. I had lost some momentum on the backstretch, and Brandon kind of gave me a push to even get me up to the outside there. I thought the outside was the right line to be in, so I tried to stay in that line. So, but yeah, it was a really good run.
Well, I mean, congratulations on getting on the final step of the rostrum, Travis. Before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to in particular?
Yeah, just want to give a shout out to the NSRLA guys. You know, really appreciate them putting this league on. Really appreciate the broadcast you guys are doing. Can't wait to go back and check that out. And you know, want to thank my Bandits teammates Sandy Kurtz and Brett Bieber for running with me tonight. And you know, we were all trying to work together to get up here on the podium. So we got one truck up here tonight. So.
Well, brilliant, Travis. Thanks so much for your time, and we look forward to catching up with you soon when NSRLA comes back into action very, very soon indeed. Well done tonight.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Okay,
right.
So I think it's Brandon Schumann up next. So I think this will be over to you, Adam, I think.
Yes, sir. Brandon Schumann, Alex, and Adam in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. Got you guys.
Man, phenomenal performance tonight. Lightning fast from the drop of the green flag. I mean, what was going on through your mind? I know you had some teammates out there. I believe it was the 24 to 42. You guys seem to be working pretty good together.
Yep. So right on the thought of it. I mean, it was about mid-pack that I qualified, but, you know, just these super speedways, sometimes your best effort is to go right to the front, and that was my initial thought. You know, I was just like, you know what, it's time to go. We're going straight to the front, straight to the green, and I just tried to keep it there most of the race, and I was lucky enough to keep it within the top 10 for basically all the race. I think I may have dropped out one time, but other than that, I think I was in the top 10 majority of the race.
Oh, yeah. You know, starting 15th place and then finishing second. And you led the most laps of the race, 12. I mean, I know it's hard to say, and it doesn't seem like 12 laps is much, but we had 19 lead changes, and you led 12 laps. So I mean that's quite a bit. So if they do give out points, well, you get some for lead the most laps. If not, you get points in the the hearts of the fans. But yeah, phenomenal performance tonight, and I think this point's really going to help you going into the next race.
Fair enough. I'll take it. And I also do want to kind of apologize because I feel like that wreck wasn't also just net code on the backstretch with me where I came across Brett's nose. I also feel like it was partially my fault too. So I want to take some accountability in that. I feel like that's the right thing to do.
Here, exactly. Yeah, accountability goes a long way, my friend, and you definitely understand that. So, but yeah, if you got any shout outs or anything like that, get those, and we'll get you on your way.
Yeah, I want to shout out my teammates John Freeman and Matthew Montgomery, and then also want to shout out my parents for watching. Shout out my buddy Tristan for always preparing me for every single race, no matter where or when it is. And then shout out my sponsor, Premier Racing Setups. They make the best setups on iRacing. Maybe that's why I possibly led the most laps tonight.
All right, man. Sounds good, and hopefully we'll see you back soon. If not, definitely good luck in your next race.
Ready? Thank you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, Alex, if you want to grab, well, I'll grab Donnie, and we'll let you lead this with the winner of the race tonight.
Yeah, so here he is, the fresh from Florida 150 winner from the inside of row number 5 to victory lane. Donnie Honeycutt joins us. Donnie, you get us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, that was close at the end after so many attempts of a black and white checkered, but we finally got there, and nice display with the donuts, I have to say, on the tri-oval. But of course, you and Tyler, father and son combination, running as teammates. It was a bit of a shame to see that contact between him and Brett on the penultimate restart, where a little bit of side drafting went a little bit haywire, and Tyler ended up being spun out. He finished P9 in the end, but still, to get the victory of what was 63 thousandths of a second after 72 laps, you must be feeling on cloud 9 right now.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Yeah, hey Tyler, the 14 got up in there, Tyler there. 'Cause me and him, we had a strategy there. No, we weren't going to leave each other bumpers until the end there, and hopefully, we thought we was in the catbird seat where we can work with each other and hopefully push one or the other to the win there. But it just wasn't meant to be. But yeah, after that, then I got behind Andy there, and I try to stay glued to his rear bumper there until I was gonna wait till after turn off of turn 4 and try to get to his outside, but I seen the outside lane coming, and I had a good run, so I went ahead to try to on the back stretch there to get to his outside going into 3. So it worked out really good. I got a great push by Travis there to the 23 come out of 4 there, and that's what ultimately gave me the win. That good push.
Yeah, and as we know, with regards to oval racing, like the amount of clean racing that we saw, despite the fact we had over 27 laps of the race, we had 9 total cautions. There was a lot of clean racing out there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, there was. Like I said, there was a few too many cautions there at the end. I like to seen that cleaned up a little bit, and but yeah, for the most part, I think everybody did pretty decent there.
Well, Donnie, congratulations on winning the Fresh from Florida 150 here on the for NSRLA for the Truck Series. Before we let you go and celebrate with a nice ice cold drink, because I'm sure that you've been sweating quite a bit and you're sort of like a little bit tired. But at the end of the day, do you want to give anyone any shout outs in particular for your win tonight?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. My Ghost Motorsports teammates, Tyler, like I said, he was having a good race there until the end there. And my other teammate Bradley, he couldn't make it tonight, but he'll be back with us next week. My mom, my brother, they watch all of our races, that are broadcasters. So shout out to those guys, all the team owners, the admins. You guys for doing the broadcast. I appreciate you guys coming on, and can't wait to go back and watch it here.
Brilliant. Well, Donnie, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see you next time when the Truck Series goes back into action at full throttle. Well done tonight.
All right, thank you, Alex.
And there you have it, folks.
Okay.
Yep, the top three: Travis Bieber, Brandon Schumann, and Donnie Honeycutt. Man, Alex, I just got to say it was an absolute honor to have you here in my ear on YouTube talking to these fans, talking about these drivers tonight. It was unbelievable watching a professional work.
Thank you very much for the wonderful compliment, and thank you so much for accepting my apology. Rob was watching and said, it's Adam, not Brad, and I said, don't worry, I noticed. So it's been a pleasure working alongside you as well, Adam. I mean, we have to say a big thank you to everyone that's been watching on the Racer Nexus broadcast network on YouTube, and we had over the best part of nearly 50 people watching at one time or another. If you do want to get involved with the series, the League Discord link is in the description down below. The Racer Nexus Discord is also down below as well, and don't forget, give us a like, give us a share, give us a subscribe, and whilst you're at it, hit that notification bell, because there's so much that we cover here at Racer Nexus, from GT3s, GT4s, because Apex this GT4 Tuesdays are going to be happening in about 24 hours time, so I'll be joined in the booth by Chris Murphy, because that series is coming to its end. We've got so much, so if you want to give us a like, share and subscribe, it might be just a little click of that button, but for us here for Racer Nexus, we can cover anything. So if you want to get in touch with us, if we can cover your league, give us a shout. We'll see if we can help you out.
Absolutely, man. Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth. I usually say that on mine, but man, hey, I love having a guy in here who's extremely confident and as talkative as I am. So yeah, but anyway, this is Adam Glatfelter and Alex Goldsmith with Racer Nexus, and we'll see you guys next time. You guys take it easy.